Sawyer, what do you think contract hog finishing will look like in 20 years?
Oh, this is a hard one, and I think we'll jump in here a little bit too, but it's really hard to say what that will look like, just because if people think that you're going to be able to raise all the pigs we're raising now outside, you've lost your damn mind. It is not going to happen. It's not possible. We just touched on a big reason as to why that is. In Iowa, aren't we the number one leading in pork production?
I think so.
We have really, really brutal winters, And we did, our family farm raised pigs outside. And there's a reason we put them inside, because it's better for the pig. It's better for the people raising the pigs. It's better for everybody. And you think, and we don't have enough land to do so. We're also high in corn and soybean production here in Iowa. We're a big agricultural state. We need every piece of ground, farm ground we can to produce corn and soybeans and whatever else. We're big in grain farming too. So if you think that you're going to be able to raise 2,400 pigs on the same acre or acres a hog barn's on, you've lost your damn mind.
You're sadly mistaken.
You're sadly mistaken. It takes a lot of ground. You can do it, but it takes a lot of ground to raise pasture-raised pigs. It really does. You gotta rotate them on multiple pieces of land consistently, week by week by week, or 2 weeks by 2 weeks by 2 weeks. I've done a little watching into it, but there's no freaking way you could do that here. And I don't know exactly where I think it's going to go. I think you're still going to need hog barns. I think if people there's supposed to be 10 billion people by 2050. 10 billion people. I think we're at 7 billion right now, right?
7 or 8.
7 or 8 billion. That's a lot of people to feed. So I think you can still have pasture raised farmers. I think you can have people that do what we do. But you can't have just this. It is not going to work. It is just not going to work. There's going to be more people than there is now. And if you do it that way, it's going to be less productive than it is now. If you try to say, oh, we can do pasture raised, you can't. It's going to be less productive and there's going to be more people to feed. So tell me how that is going to work.
Well, the other side of that is, and we didn't really touch on this, but to pasture raised pigs, the labor side of it.
Yep, you're right.
That equation doesn't work. We raise 20,000, just shy of 20,000 butcher pigs a year. The two of us. Basically, the two of us. We hire a little bit of labor to help us load pigs, and we hire some labor to power wash for us. Other than that, we do everything ourselves.
And vaccinate.
Yeah. Okay. For us to pasture raise pigs, we couldn't do, I don't know if we could do 1,000 pigs.
No.
I don't think we could.
You can raise 300 pigs on, I think it's I don't know for sure, but I watched a video on it, somebody doing it, and they had 4 woodlots that were probably, I think you need 10 acres to do 300 pigs.
Yeah. So basically all the land that we have, you wouldn't be able to raise crops. You'd have to have an alfalfa or grass, and then you'd have to rotate them through there. So, long story short is, it's a money thing. It's labor. So it's labor, it's environmental. So you want to talk about your carbon footprint? You know how much the hog business has dropped its carbon footprint over the last 10 years? The amount of water, the amount of power, and the amount of carbon generated, it's gone down significantly. If you put pigs outside, and so we're paying for, we touched on this before, but about carbon credits. If you take a field that you've been conventionally tilling and you no-till it, that sequesters carbon because you're not turning over the soil. So that's a good thing. If, in my air quotes or without, whatever, it's a good thing. And so you are keeping that carbon from being released. Do you know what would happen if we put 10,000 pigs outside, and even if we rotated them? Those pigs are like a spade on 4 legs. They are built to root because traditionally they're scavengers, and they root around looking for roots and bugs and whatever they can eat. Truffles, if you have a distinguished palate. But anyway, they're made to turn over the soil. What does that do? It releases a lot of carbon. So you can't have it. You can't have this whole thing both ways. You can't say that it's so much better for the animals and it's so much better for the environment, but it's not good for the environment because over here you're telling people you don't want to turn over the soil because that releases carbon, which is causing global warming, but we're going to put all these pigs outside and they're going to root the ground, and that's okay.
And then I saw in this video too, they say, well, they spread their fertilizer out on it.
Right.
So it gets in the ground after they turn it up and they spread the We do the same damn thing with what we're doing. We take the manure out of the pit and put it on our fields.
Right.
So if you want to talk about fertilizer, we do the same exact thing.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine the regulation. Like, I don't know how you would even regulate that.
Yeah.
Because you'd have people that would do it very well, and then you'd have people that did it that they left the pigs on a chunk of ground way too long to where when they did rotate them, there would be no vegetation left, which they'll do that. I mean, they'll do that in a pretty short amount of time.
Right.
We've probably gone too far anyway.
Right.
So what is it going to look like?
So maybe I can see a little compromise. We talk about this a little bit. Maybe you don't put as many pigs in a finisher. Maybe we can't put 2,400 pigs in a finisher. But do I see finishers getting completely outlawed? No, I don't see that happening. There's no way that can happen for production. No way. Maybe we put less pigs in there, but maybe I could see that happening. Maybe they develop a roof that opens up and they get a little bit more sunlight. I don't know, but do I see the finisher or the sow unit or the nursery going away? Do I see hog barns going away? No.
Looks like a lot of remodel. I'd like to get back into the building business because the only thing that makes more money than selling new buildings is insurance claims and remodels. I loved remodels because the margin is fantastic.
So long story short, I don't really know, but I think barns are going to stay and be here for the long run.
That's good. And in 20 years, my answer is hopefully I won't care.